Championship. Brought to you by Frontier Savings Association, your exclusive sponsor of Savings Plus. By Karsh Ford in Pulaski, where nobody walks away. By Furnitureland in Pulaski, more than just a furniture store, it's something extra. And by the Pulaski Smart Shoppers Association. Good evening, everybody. Bill Deagle along with Chuck Lane here in Menasha. First, looking at Pulaski's Red Raiders, they rely heavily on the talents of a rock-solid senior tailback, Mel Kroll.
Mel Kroll has been their big gun for them. Certainly a high scorer, the #1 conference scorer this year with 134 points, 20 touchdowns, 14 extra points, sports a 5.8-yard rushing average. He will carry the ball from fullback, tailback. He'll carry it a lot tonight.
Whitewater looks to quarterback Jim Young.
Jim Young, most valuable player in the South Lakes Conference. He's a big guy. He can throw the ball. His last game, he threw the ball some 14 times, completed 10 for 4 touchdowns. He can do it all. I think he's their chance to break open a tight scoring game.
The coach is Jim Warren in his 7th year at Whitewater. For Pulaski, Byron Belo in only his 3rd year as head coach there. He wishes this could happen to every coach at this early stage. There you see Byron Belo on the left and Jim Warren on the right. Byron Belo said he didn't expect it to come this soon in his coaching career, Chuck, and I don't think a lot of people expected Pulaski to be here tonight in the championship game.
I had a chance to chat with a couple of writers and broadcasters before the game, and they were saying that Pulaski was picked during the preseason to win only 2 or 3 games. So that certainly is a credit to the coaching staff, Byron, Don Manigal, and Phil Morgan. They've all done a super job in bringing this club undefeated into the finals.
Even the opposing coach tonight, Jim Warren of Whitewater, said he expected to be playing Grafton tonight, not Pulaski. He felt Grafton was even tougher than his own Whitewater club.
Grafton's a big club, and traditionally they've always put a lot of players onto the higher level of competition. I know the University of Michigan has got numerous players from Grafton. UW has certainly had a shot at some of those people. They have turned out some excellent football players down there. I think it's to Pulaski's credit. 14-7 victory last week, a big defensive turnover, but here again, Pulaski can score with offense and defense, as they did last week in the semifinals.
That's the Whitewater Whippets on your screen right now, dressed in red jerseys and white pants. Dave Williams getting ready to tee the ball up. They will be kicking off. Pulaski will get first crack on offense tonight. The Red Raiders wearing all white uniforms with red helmets, so we have teams with identical colors tonight. Going back to receive for Pulaski, Mel Kroll that we talked about, along with Tim Dooley.
Mel Kroll's got a 28-yard kick return average. We're going to use that name an awful lot tonight. He's going to carry the ball a good deal. He's durable. He's strong. He has done it all so far.
There's a slight breeze tonight that Williams will be kicking into. It's coming out of the southwest. A steady but slight breeze. Williams with a pretty good leg on him. A big kid.
He is a good-sized fella.
Kroll will take it at the 14. Big seam up the middle.
He's got the outside.
Finally brought down by Byerly.
Mel Kroll advancing the ball out to the 44-yard line, about a 34-yard return. I believe he took that on about the 10. Good hang time by the Whitewater kicker. Put the ball up in the air, but Kroll got in it, moved forward. Here we see him cutting to his right. Notice the seam right there. Gets to the outside. Now he tries to get back inside, but runs into his own man right there. Otherwise, I think he could have gotten even more yardage.
On offense for Pulaski, Steve Kesley, the quarterback. Gracie Alney, the fullback, and Kroll, the tailback. They run out of the eye. The flanker is Dennis Gore. 1st and 10, Pulaski at their own 44-yard line. Gracie Alney gets the call straight up the middle to about the 47, a gain of 3. Mark Gracie Alney is quite a story. He's began lifting weights about 2 years ago and has consistently built himself up. He's still only about 145, 147 pounds. Not very big for a fullback.
Weightlifting and weight training is something that's become very, very important for athletes these days. Not only additional strength, but also durability. We have a chance to look up. That's the Whitewater side of the field. We are in the press box just behind them, so you'll hear more Whitewater cheering than you will Pulaski. But believe me, the Pulaski fans are loud, and there are a lot of them here.
2nd and 8. They spotted at the 46. Kesley with the ball. Gets maybe a yard or two, and he's brought down by Gabby.
You have a chance to look at it right now. Looks at the option. It's a fake belly to the fullback. Comes out over inside the tackle and decides to move up himself instead of giving it to the tailback. It appears to me that the Whitewater defense is in a flex. They're in a convex type of alignment. It appears that Pulaski might be better suited to go straight at them.
It'll be 3rd and about 7.
Their interior men, as you notice, are a good yard and a half off the ball. It gives the offensive linemen a good advantage if they were to go just a straight attack.
Kesley fakes to Kroll over the middle and completed to Lasecki, his leading receiver. A first down Pulaski at the 40-yard line of Whitewater.
Lasecki, number 4 in the conference this year, caught 26 balls, 338 yards. Nice job on the rollout. Notice the fake to Kroll. They've got to be considering Kroll. Does a good job coming back on a low-thrown ball. Rod Lasecki, number 89, from his right end position.
13-yard pickup on the play, moves the ball into Whitewater territory. 10 minutes to play in the first period. Kesley calling signals. They haven't gone to Kroll just yet. Looks like a broken play, and Kesley will be spilled for a loss. Looked like a busted play.
I'm sure it was. Kroll and company went to the right over their right guard and tackle. Quarterback came out to his left, I believe, thinking about something else. Little breakdown there.
They lose 2 on the play, so it'll be second down and 12. Steve Kesley, a very good passer, completed about 58% of his passes on the season.
Number 4 in the conference.
They run a lot more than they throw. Both of these teams do tonight.
Kesley's also a good defensive player. Had 5 interceptions this year.
Second and 12. Raiders at the Whitewater 42. Kesley to throw. Long for Dooley, knocked away. Excellent play by Novak. Dave Novak, a 6'1", 175-pound senior, knocked the ball away from Tim Dooley.
Dooley was wide open. I think if the ball had been thrown a little bit lower trajectory, that the defensive back wouldn't have had a chance to react. Notice the good protection right there. The ball is thrown with a loop. Defensive back comes over just barely to knock the ball away. Good defensive play by Novak.
Another couple of yards, and that could have been 6 points.
Could well have been.
Third down, 12. The Raiders in an eye. Kolakowski now split to the near side of the field. Kesley fakes to throw again. Long and way overthrown. Lasecki was near the ball, but it was over his head.
Right, that it was. With the extreme wide deployment of the Whitewater defense, it can be very difficult to get wide against them. I think that Pulaski is going to have to run inside, run straight at them, run quick traps at them. If they get through that initial forward wall, they could be in pretty good shape.
Fourth down, and Brusky comes into the game to punt for Pulaski. Joe Brusky Jr. had an average of 33.4 yards per kick on the season. Going back deep to receive for Whitewater is Byerly. Doug Byerly stands inside his 15-yard line. A fake. Kesley has the ball. Throwing, but it'll be short of the first down. It was completed to Kevin Kubiak, but it will be short of the first down. So right away, Pulaski trying some tricks.
I understand last week. We'll see it right here. The up back drops the ball off, but it's complete to the 36. They needed to get down to about the 25, 26. So they were a bit short.
Excellent camera work. I think somebody tipped our director to the play there. First and 10, Whitewater at the Whippet's own 36-yard line. Jim Young, the quarterback. Jeff Shelfeffer, the fullback, behind him, and Bjorn Hansen, the tailback.
Whitewater will run that power type out of the full house backfield, as you see, with unbalanced line, unbalanced there to the left.
Schwab picks up about 3 yards to the 39.
They're not particularly fancy. They're just going to pound it straight ahead.
Big offensive line up front. The center, Doug Turley, is 180 pounds. The guards are Bob Gabby at 205, Doug Pearson at 195, the tackle Scott Saunders at 185, and Dave Williams at 5'10 and 250 pounds, so he's a chunk. Second down about 6 from the Whitewater 39-yard line. Two backs set behind Young this time. It goes to Schwab. Good play out near midfield.
Good blocking out there, over right tackle, then cut the ball upfield. Looked like he's trying to go wide, which is their major power play, major strength. Student body right, just everybody pull out and away you go, but the running back cut back inside his own tackle. Did a nice job of it.
Big gain of 10 yards, puts the ball at the Whitewater 49-yard line, and the Whippets have a first down.
Somebody wakes up and thinks that they might have slept into tomorrow. These look like the Alabama uniforms that Whitewater is sporting. Same type of color configuration and the same type of results right there.
Schwab goes in motion. The handoff coming back the other way. No, faked and a pass. What a kick.
You're going to love to see this. We'll have a chance to see it one more time from the ground level. A good ball, good thrown. Scott Stoffaker one-hands it right there. Does a heck of a job while he's being knocked down. Does a great job of hanging onto the ball down at the 36-yard line of the Pulaski Red Raiders.
First down, Whippet. Mel Kroll on the tackle for Pulaski on the last play. The ball comes to Hansen inside the 35, wrestled to the turf at about the 31-yard line. Kubiak on the tackle for Pulaski. Pulaski will play the 5-2. Up front at end, Rod Summers. Bino Hensel, the left tackle. His brother, Jed Hensel, the middle guard. Right tackle, Tony Holland and Randy Reeby on the right defensive end. A gain of 4 on the last play. 2nd and 6 at the Pulaski 32-yard line. Full house backfield this time behind Jim Young. He wants to throw again. Rolling to his right. Open again is Stoffaker, and he's hit and brought down at the 11-yard line by Steve Kesley.
That time he ran away from the strength of their formation. They were strong to the left, overbalanced to the left. Quarterback rolled to his right, brought the tight end across the field, did a nice job of finding him. Guards are getting out in front. Looked like he could have gotten to the outside, but he drills the ball in there very well. He throws the ball extremely well. I like this quarterback.
And we've got an injured player down on the field. Maybe just shaken up, but they're checking with him right now. We'll be back with a score 0-0 between Pulaski and Whitewater. We'll be back in just a minute. Just under 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. Nothing, but Whitewater threatening at the Pulaski 10-yard line after a 22-yard pass play from Jim Young to Scott Stoffaker.
And worse yet, Steve Kesley came up and made the tackle, left the game bruised.
Hansen inside the 5, down to about the 4.
Ball carried by number 24, beyond Hansen.
Randy Reeby in on the tackle on that.
Number 51, Randy Reeby.
Byron Bealow, the Pulaski coach, said he didn't think they'd get hurt too much on the ground, but they could through the air.
So they're getting people down into the Pulaski side of the line of scrimmage. They're getting their guards around the corner. That play has to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. You've got to keep the guards from getting out in front of it. Once they get out and start working on the linebackers in the secondary, it tells you where that game is being played, and that's when the safety men have to come up and make the tackles.
Gain of about 6 down to the 4-yard line. Hansen comes in motion. Schwab gets the touchdown.
We'll see just a straight-ahead dive here by the left halfback, Schwab. Just power football straight ahead. One more time. Motion coming this way. Straight, direct handoff. Pulaski seems to take to the outside. And it's a quick 6.
At 6:02 of the first period, Whitewater breaks on top 6-0. That play covered 64 yards in only 7 plays. That drive. Simon will attempt the extra point for Whitewater. Mark Simon, he's only a sophomore. And he splits the upright. 7-0 Whitewater with 6:02 to play in the first period. They lead Pulaski. We'll be back with more first quarter action after this timeout. With Mel Kroll to receive the Whitewater kickoff, so apparently he wasn't hurt too badly on that tackle that he made a few moments ago.
Number 75, Williams.
Dave Williams to boot again. He weighs 250 pounds. So the steady breeze he's kicking into won't make much of a difference. High end over end kick again, but short. Bounces to the 20. Kesley lets it get by him. Picks it up at the 14. And Novak makes the tackle inside the 10-yard line. Costly mistake there.
And he's down one more time, unfortunately. Or excuse me, that was Tim Dooley, number 16. He lets the ball hit the ground. Should never let a kickoff hit the ground if you possibly can. Now notice he's up to about the 13 at that point. Gives ground and gets dropped by Novak back inside his own 10.
And he appears to be in some pain because he's stomping the ground with his foot. They're working over him right now. Getting back to that Whitewater drive, Byron Bealow had said that they felt they could stop the run. And if they knew Whitewater was going to pass, they could defense it decently. But if they mixed up their plays, if Whitewater mixed up the pass and the run, he felt they could get burned. Not for long gains, but burned. And they did get burned consistently in that drive.
Jim Young, the quarterback, throws the ball extremely well. They do have a power running game, and they're breaking it at the line of scrimmage. They're doing very well. Whitewater has definitely earned their 9-0 mark up at this point.
Tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, TV 11 and ABC bring you the 32nd meeting of the Michigan Wolverines and Purdue Boilermakers from Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor with a Big Ten title on the line. Then at 3 in the afternoon, Dan Devine's Fighting Irish travel to Birmingham to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. And I don't think you want to miss either one of those ball games.
Going to look forward to that for sure. A couple good ball games.
A nice Saturday afternoon of football watching. 7-0 Whitewater leads Pulaski with 5:58 to play in the first quarter. And the Pulaski man still down, being attended to. We'll pause for a commercial and be right back. Off the field by a couple of teammates, apparently with a leg injury.
Looked to be a lower right leg injury. I don't know if it's in the knee or ankle area. I certainly hope it's not serious.
The Red Raiders start just from inside their 9-yard line with Gore split to the right side on the flank behind Kubiak. The handoff to Kroll. And out across the 10 bangs Mel Kroll. Here's where they'll start going to him when they need some running room.
Big Ben Cooper tackle, making the tackle number 76. Kroll did not carry the ball or touch it in that first series, which is rather surprising because he has been their workhorse up to this point.
Last week against Grafton, 33 carries, 88 yards, 1,418 yards on the season for Mel Kroll. Second down, about 8 from the Red Raiders' 12-yard line. Gracie Alney and Kroll behind Kesley, the quarterback. Here's Kroll again, big hole this time, and look at him struggle. Finally wrestled down by Doug Turley. That is one of Kroll's strongest points. You mentioned his good, strong legs, Chuck. It takes a lot to bring him down.
Right, he's the strongest man on the ball club. He's bench and pressing. I believe it's 265 in that area. He's not that big. He's about 5'9". They list him, let's see here, at 5'9", 176. But a man that can bench press 100 pounds over his weight is doing very, very well.
Official timeout.
And he gets the tough yards for you. Byron Velo says he's banged up during the year, but a fast healer. He's a fast healer. It'll be third down and about 3 yards to go for the Raiders. The ball spotted between their 17 and 18-yard lines. Right now, I think we've got some equipment repair going on out in the field.
That we do. I think it's a shoulder pad strap. Officials working there, and the man in the near side of the Pulaski huddle.
I saw that happen in a game last week. If the equipment is broken, the player must leave the field. But if it's simply unhooked, then they can take the time to hook it back up.
Bob Schultz and I were doing a game up in Crivets earlier this fall, and I saw a signal that I had not seen before. The referee takes one hand and puts it behind his head. That's to signify that a player does not have their mouth guard in. On the high school level, they've all got to wear mouth guards. They've got to have them in from the beginning of the play. So a signal that we didn't anticipate, but it's a good rule. It's one that exists only on the high school level.
Big play here early for Pulaski. It goes to Kroll again. He's stacked up, but he struggles toward the first down marker. And a flag on the play, a late flag.
Behind the line of scrimmage.
Let's take a look at it. It appears that they are keen on Kroll as the play goes away from us. So the reverse pivot by the quarterback, hopefully to draw the linebackers away. Kroll is met there, struggles, but I believe it was a face mask penalty according to the PA announcer down here.
Doug Pearson was one of the first Whitewater players to hit Kroll, and Pulaski will have a first down after that face masking penalty. So a good break for the Red Raiders.
If Pulaski has something in their repertoire in which they can use Kroll as a decoy, do some countering, working away from him, it's obvious that Whitewater is keen on Kroll. They should. He carries the ball. He's been the workhorse.
Gore is flanked out way wide to the right, about 20 yards. Straight ahead. A good faking that time by Kesley. Gracie Alney got the fake, and Kroll got the ball.
After a gain of about 4.
And Mel Kroll is buried around the 38-yard line, so it'll be second down and 6. 3:45 to play in the first quarter. Whitewater leads it 7-0. This time, Kubiak comes out on the flank. And the ball again to Kroll. Big hole up the middle, across midfield. And struggling into Whitewater territory at the 42-yard line.
As we said earlier, I think that Pulaski's success is going to be straight ahead against this type of defensive set. It's going to be very, very difficult to get outside them. I think they've got to establish their straight ahead game. Now from overhead, let's take a look at it. See, that's just straight ahead drive blocking in there. But notice the way Kroll picks up. He's now got about 5 yards after the first hit, gets about another 4 after that. He picked up about 9 yards until on his way to the ground.
First and 10 Pulaski at the 44 of Whitewater. Kesley takes the ball from Schuster to Kroll again, cutting back toward the 40. A gain of about 4 on the play.
Mel appeared to lose his footing. I noticed on 2 plays before that, one of the offensive blockers going downfield, I didn't see the number, got down into the secondary and slipped down in that area. The field is very, very bare in the middle, but yet to the outside there's a very thick matted grass. You can see it on your screen right now where they are in this area where there's not a whole lot of grass down there.
Second down, about 7 from the 41 of Whitewater. And you can see they're starting to use Kroll more effectively now. There he is again. Stacked up short this time. Simon on the tackle.
Ball carried by number 28.
Got a chance to see it again from the lower position here by our handheld cameraman. Mel takes it straight ahead and tries to slide to the outside, but slides into the grasp of a couple of the Whitewater Whippets.
Mark Simon, the defensive end on that tackle. Third down at about 5 from the 39-yard line. We'll see if Kessley goes to the air. The pitch to Kroll. Inside the 35, just across to the 34. They'll be short of the first down. It'll be fourth and about a yard and a half.
They're still down in 4-down territory, though, here, where they will use all 4 downs going for it, especially being down by a touchdown.
Kroll has picked up 41 yards already on only 8 carries, so he's near his seasonal average for carries.
Plays come in from the sideline along with personnel.
Dennis Gore just came into the huddle. Rod Summers goes to the sideline. Fourth down and about a yard for Pulaski at the Whitewater 35. Gracie Alney, the fullback behind Kessley. But the ball goes to Kroll. He slipped, but he picks up the first down, I believe.
Yes, he did. He had to get down to approximately the 34. He's down well inside the 33 to the 32 or so.
After not using him much on the first drive, they're going to him more and more. I think they're going to call for a measurement here.
See one of the young ladies down here on the sidelines, one of the Whitewater cheerleaders. They've got a mob up here for tonight's game.
You know, Chuck, they might have been thinking reverse psychology on that first drive. Kroll carried so much last week, they might have figured Whitewater had been looking for them.
I can't believe the measurement where they placed the ball. I thought he was way down to the 32. Called it as that. Now they moved the ball back.
Whitewater holds, and the Whippets take over with 1:07 to play in the first period. The ball at their own 34-yard line.
I thought he had it.
Well, John Madden says there's left-footed and right-footed officials. If they spot it with their left foot, you don't get the first down. If you spot it with their right foot, you do.
Once again, the full house backfield. This is a balanced attack right now, balanced line.
Jim Young hands off to Schwab. And Schwab has been doing much of the running along with Hansen, the right halfback for Whitewater. We haven't seen Shelfeffer carry the ball yet tonight, and he carried 24 times for 128 yards in the Whippets semifinal win over Oregon. They beat Oregon 21-0 last week. Gain of about 4 on the last play. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the Whitewater 37.
Both teams have played extremely fine defense during the entire course of the season.
This should be the last play of the first half. Now they send Hansen out on the flank. Shelfeffer gets the handoff out near the 40. He's wrapped up by Mel Kroll.
Mel did a nice job from his inside linebacking position to shut off that. There's another man that hit him low, but Kroll finished him off.
Gain of only about 2 on the play. The first quarter comes to an end with Whitewater leading Pulaski 7-0. We'll be back with the second quarter of action right after this timeout. As we start the second quarter of play, Whitewater has the ball, third down and about 5 at their own 39-yard line. Again, only 2 backs in the backfield. It comes to Schwab, and he slips and goes down right near the 40. The tackle made by Mark Gracialny, and also Bino Henzo on the tackle.
And Mark really applied the hammer to him. His footing was starting to go, but Mark drilled him to the earth right there.
So it'll be 4th and 5. And Kerry Danforth goes back to receive the punt for Pulaski. Kroll going back there along with him. Mark Simon to do the punting.
Mel Kroll does everything but line the field.
Low kick, nearly blocked. Kroll lets it bound inside the 25. Down at the 24-yard line by Tim Cooper. So Pulaski will take over after that punt of 36 yards at their own 23-yard line. TV 11 sports exclusive coverage of WIAA State Championship football continues tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock with highlights of the Division III title game between the Two Rivers Purple Raiders and Rice Lake. Then at 10:30 following TV 11 late news, it's the Division I title game between Kenosha Tremper and Wisconsin Rapids. 1st and 10 Pulaski at their own 24. trailing 7-0. Kroll gets the football and bangs out to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 6. Straight ahead.
Steve Kessley does an excellent job of faking, continuing to carry out his fakes after the play is over. You'll notice the mud on the field there as their players are working on get their cleats cleaned out. We have the first quarter stats. Both teams had three first downs in the first half. Pulaski had 43 yards rushing while Whitewater had 35 yards passing. Whitewater led 35-20. Total yards, Whitewater 70, Pulaski 63.
Just as even as we thought it would be. 2nd and 4, Red Raiders from their 30. Kessley wants to throw, looking long, he's got a man open, and it's overthrown and incomplete.
Intended for number 84, Gary Baranowski. Gary started to run with his arms up in the air. Receivers is best when they see the ball is thrown a little bit long. Keep your arms in pumping like a track man. Run to the point and then put your hands out at the last minute. You know, remember a lot of coaches used to say you never see a track man running with his arms out. You always see the arms inside pumping away until they get to where the ball is coming down, then extend the arms, but not until then.
3rd and 4, Pulaski. We didn't expect to see Baranowski tonight. He's only a junior, and Pulaski is dominated by seniors. Handoff fake to Kroll again over the middle, nearly intercepted. Nearly picked off by Bob Gabby. He had his hands on it, but dropped it.
Gabby, also a 205-pound, 6-foot senior, coming back from his inside linebacking position, falling off into the... We'll have a chance to take a look at it right here. The roll will go away from us to the quarterback's right. But as he rolls to that direction, the defense rotates over there as well.
Joe Brusky to do the punting for Pulaski. They face a 4th and 4 situation. Good snap. He slips on the kick, but gets it away. No flag, no roughing the kicker. It rolls dead at the Whitewater 39-yard line. A punt of 34 yards, right on his average.
Got a chance to see it one more time to give you some idea just how slippery and muddy it is down there. As Brusky goes down, in comes Mark Simon of Whitewater to pin him down, adding injury to insult or insult to injury, whichever.
So the Whippets get the football again, leading 7-0 with 10:09 to play in the second quarter. Full house backfield behind Jim Young.
Once again, a balanced line. Whitewater started off with the unbalanced.
Hanson in motion gets the football.
Oh,
he's stacked up right away by Mel Kroll.
Good lick by Kroll. Good form tackle.
By number 24, Hanson.
Mel met him right away and dumped him for a 1-yard loss.
By number 28, Mel Kroll.
Off the camera to the right, we'll see Mel Kroll come up right there and make the tackle, put his headgear right smack dab into the waist section and to keep his legs driving.
Randy Reevy helped him, applying the coup de grace.
They get enough mileage out of Kroll, do you think? Plays offense, defense, returns punts, kickoffs.
Hanson in motion for Whitewater. A bootleg by Young, looking long downfield. He threw to the up man, Stoffaker, and missed him. I was watching Oberly breaking deep downfield. Even he slipped, even though he was open on his pattern.
But I think you're going to see an awful lot of slipping and sliding around the middle part of the field. As you get outside the hash marks to the outside, there's a great deal of grass down there, so your footing will be much better to the outside of the field. But down in between the two hash marks down the middle, it's going to be greasy as the devil. See the mob that we have down here tonight?
Good sized crowd from both Pulaski and Whitewater. A lot of people made the trip to Menasha tonight. 3rd and 11, full house backfield. Schwab now splits out on the flanker. Young to throw. Little out pattern to Byerly, complete for the first down.
Byerly came straight downfield and was curled into the opening. The quarterback did a nice job of drilling the ball towards him.
Kubiak and Kessley on the stop for
one more time right here. Quarterback drops back about a very short, quick rhythm pass. The quick curl in reception.
Doug Byerly on a pickup of just about 10 yards. Close to the first down. They're going to measure it. Very tight. First down, Whitewater. Just on the Whippet side of midfield. We've said that is one way the Red Raiders could get hurt tonight, is if Whitewater chooses to pass frequently. Here you get a shot of the press box and the lights on top of it and the Whitewater crowd underneath.
Pulaski Raiders defense, number 2 in the conference in yards allowed and under 200 per game, number 2 in points allowed, number 1 versus the rush, but they're number 7 against the pass. That's something we feared.
Schwab straight ahead picks up about 3 to the Pulaski 48-yard line.
Ball carried by number 22, Schwab.
They're using quite a bit of motion so far, and using that misdirection that we talked about.
What they're trying to do is occupy the minds of the linebacker and then come at them straight ahead. Also getting their big people down into the Pulaski side of the line of scrimmage, get down there. With a 5-2, if they can occupy those inside 2 linebackers, you can make some headway against that type of defensive set.
2nd and 7, Hansen goes in motion. The handoff to Schwab coming back the other way, down to about the 44-yard line. When Syracuse University used to use that play a long time ago with Floyd Little and Ernie Davis, they called it the scissors play.
Not too bad to have talent like that to use.
Gain of another 3 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 4, Whitewater at the Pulaski 44-yard line. The Whippets own the football and the lead. Schwab has carried 7 times for 29 yards for Whitewater. They have all 3 backs in the backfield right now. And the handoff goes to Schwab straight ahead again. He's stacked up right away. Bino Hensel in there for Pulaski, along with his brother Jed Hensel. It'll be 4th down, Whitewater now. They send the punting team in.
That leaves them about a 4th and 2 or so. It's field position is going to be so important in this particular ball game. I think it's a good idea to punt that ball away. They've got the lead. There's no sense taking a chance now.
Mark Simon will kick for Whitewater, and Baranowski goes back along with Kroll for Pulaski. High snap, but he gets it away. A left-footed boot, deep, bounding inside the 10-yard line, and it takes a Whitewater bounce instead of going into the end zone. Down by Bob Gabby at the 10-yard line. Whitewater leads at 7-0. We'll be back with more second quarter action in just a moment. Pulaski with bad field position once again at their own 10-yard line.
The ball hit and then curled back towards Whitewater.
That's Kroll out to the 13-yard line. You'll hear us mention his name a lot tonight. Kroll picked up about 3 that time, 2nd and 7.
Stopped by the interior of the Whitewater line.
6:40 to play now in the first half. And that bad field position the last 2 times Pulaski's had the ball has hurt the Red Raiders.
2nd and 8.
Very, very important the territorial advantage you get out of a kick like that. Pin a team in, make them drive some 90 yards in order to get points on the board.
They're going up against a 4-4 Whitewater defensive front lineman. Kroll straight ahead again, gets some running room, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets the first down, I believe, out to the 21-yard line. Good second effort.
We'll see second effort on display right here by Mel Kroll, number 28. Notice he stopped there, keeps moving. He's arm tackled there. That's not going to bring him down. He slips out of an arm tackle there and manages to carry 2 men with him upfield. Very, very strong runner.
Stauffacher finally brought him down, coming all the way from his left end position on the other side of the field. 1st and 10 Pulaski at the 21. Mel Kroll with 59 yards and 12 carries already. Hesley throws it over the middle, and he's got a man open. That was Kubiak, one of the tight ends.
From his right side tight end, up the top part of your screen, you see the fake into the fullback. Ball's dumped over the top. Kubiak does a nice job here. Almost gets to his outside. Now, if he could get past that man right there, if he gets one more block, he's off and running.
18-yard gain to the 39-yard line of Pulaski. The Raiders on the move again.
Those stand-up defensive ends do not chuck your tight end. That's a good play. Keeps them honest.
Kroll, only a yard. Stopped right away by Bullen. Mark Bullen, the right side tackle, 5'10", 180-pound senior for Whitewater. The Whippets, champions of the Southern Lakes Conference. They've been close to the playoffs the last 2 years, but never made it in. A record of 23-4 over the last 3 years. 2nd and 9, Pulaski at their 40. The clock winding down to 5 minutes to play in the first half. Kesley over Schuster, the center. Fake to Kroll. He's throwing for Gore, out of his reach. Incomplete around the 45-yard line of Whitewater.
That ball was not overthrown by much. We'll have a chance to look at it one more time. Kesley back, good fake to Kroll. Puts the ball up. Nice soft ball thrown up there, just over the outstretched fingers.
3rd and 9.
Third down 9 now. Dennis Gore, a 5'9", 145-pound flanker. He's also a wrestler. There are, I believe, 7 wrestlers on this squad, and they haven't even been able to get out for practice yet.
Pulaski has always a tremendous tradition of wrestling excellence.
3rd and 9 at the Red Raider 40. Gore out on the flank, 2 ends tight. Kesley to throw, gets some time, lets it go. Overthrown, but great catch by Baranowski.
Baranowski did a good job of going up after that ball.
And Bacchus had a good chance at an interception for Whitewater, a 20-yard gain.
That's a situation right here. Good block on the defensive end. The ball is thrown to a spot. Baranowski goes up, fights for it. That's where a receiver has got to be aggressive. He's got to go on offense, and that's exactly what Baranowski did. Did a good job of going up and pulling down that apple.
He out-battled Don Bacchus that time. Tight formation for Pulaski. 1st and 10 at the Whitewater 41. Kesley keeps it. Pitches back to Kroll. He's got a lot of room. Inside the 25 and finally tripped up and brought down to the 17-yard line.
Not only that, he gave Wade Overly, the defensive back, a handful of knuckles as he went down. Good stiff arm. Good shove off by the hand. Here it is right here on the option. Gets inside the defensive end, pitches the ball blind, but perfectly right to Kroll. Watch the use of the stiff arm right there. Take that, 15.
And a 25-yard pickup on the play to the 15-yard line of Whitewater.
14 carries for 85 yards. Long of 25.
Kesley to Kroll again. Stacked up right at the 15. No gain. Stoffaker on the tackle. Scott Stoffaker, the defensive end for Whitewater.
Ball carried by Kroll.
Under 4 minutes to play in the half now. A score here would be a lot of momentum for Pulaski.
Bart Bulow and staff thought they found a weakness over there at their own right tackle where they were able to attack that side of the Whitewater defense, but they certainly stiffened on that particular instance.
Momentary timeout by the officials while they straightened out the ball. 2nd down and 10 at the Whitewater 15-yard line. Gracialny and Kroll behind quarterback Kesley. Kesley keeps. Not much room, but he does manage to slip a tackle and get to the 12. Pickup of 3, 3rd down and 7.
If you're thinking in terms of field goal, it's probably not much of a possibility at this stage. Pulaski has had some difficulty in kicking extra points. That's why they've run as many as they have this year. Kroll has carried for 14 extra points as they run for most of theirs.
3rd down and 7 from the Whitewater 12-yard line. Under 3 minutes to go in the half now. Kesley is having a pretty good night throwing the ball. 4 of 9 for 58 yards thus far. And he'll throw again. Looking over the middle. Incomplete, and he'll have an interference call against Whitewater, I do believe.
I believe you're right.
Oberly was hanging on Rod Summers.
Summers had that ball right between the numbers. Nice ball, nicely thrown right between the 8 and the 7. We can't see it down there at that level, but the contact was made just before the ball got there. Wade number 15, Wade Oberly, I believe, is the man that will be flagged for it.
We'll see where they spot the ball. It's a 1st down and goal to go for the Pulaski Red Raiders. They've got a chance to tie or go ahead. As Chuck said, they will probably run for extra points if they score a touchdown. It's all the 6-yard line of Whitewater.
Right about to the 6, so they've got 4 downs now to cover that distance. And I think we might see Mr. Kroll.
I was going to ask you who you thought they'd call.
Kroll is up at the fullback position. Look for him to carry the ball, the lead back in the eye. Right there.
The handoff to Kroll. He dives into the 3-yard line. Cooper again submarining the play. Ben Cooper, the big defensive left tackle, all Southern Lakes Conference. A 6'2", 210-pound senior for Whitewater. Pickup of 3, it'll be 2nd and goal.
You see some of the defensive alignments that are being called in.
2:15 to play in the first half. Kroll again at the fullback spot, and they got Gracialny at the tailback, so that's a bit of a switch.
They'll put Kroll at whatever position is about to get the football, I think, down here.
Gore split on the flank. The other end's in tight. Kroll again. Dives to the 1.
That ball will be put down very, very close to the end zone. One more time. Let's take a look at the offensive line surge. That's just straight ahead blocking down there. Mel Kroll did a nice job of covering that ball with two hands, struggling like the devil to get in there. Almost got it.
Craker Kroll, he calls himself the top rock on the team. And I don't think you'll get too much argument about that. 3rd and goal, Pulaski at the 1. Kroll again, he's stacked up but fights his way toward the goal line.
No signal. 4th and short.
They stopped him.
Defense stacked in the gaps.
They stacked
to get low.
Dave Novak came up from his safety.
Let's take a look at it. We're right at the line of scrimmage right here. See where the surge is. Notice the red.
Timeout on the field. Plays resumed.
Oh, right close to it, but the ball is carried so low that all you've got to do is break the plane of the goal with the football. Kroll was carrying the ball at waist level there. That's the reason I think that he was not given the touchdown.
And Whitewater has called timeout to regroup. With 1:11 to play in the half, they're trying to protect a 7-0 lead right here. Bob Gabby talking to the coaches. Jim Warren, the head coach. Gabby, one of the co-captains. A linebacker on defense.
At this juncture, I think that obviously Whitewater is keen on Mel Kroll. I'm not so sure I wouldn't put Kroll in the fullback position and run the tailback in a separate direction. I think that would you'd find that you'd have Mr. Kroll being pursued by the bunch, the whole posse.
Kroll is bigger than Gracie Alney, so if he did block, he would also provide some more blocking power as well. As you call it, Kroll in the fullback slot. 4th and goal. Kesley tries to get in, and I don't believe he made it.
I don't believe he did either.
Whitewater stacks him up, and that is a big, big play for the Whippets. You can see Doug Turley raising his arms in triumph. A terrific goal line stand. And Chuck, I saw the same thing happen on this field last Saturday. The footing being slippery makes it hard for a quarterback to dig in.
Right, bet it does. You remember in '67 in the Ice Bowl in Green Bay. The running backs were having very much trouble getting a good start, so that's when Bart carried it in behind Jerry Kramer and Kenny Bowman.
Now we'll see if Whitewater can work out of this deep hole. 1st down at their own 1-yard line. The handoff to Shelpfeffer straight ahead.
Because every time to have a chance to get a unique look at it as you were the field judge, is what you would be seeing from field level right here.
Short gain on the play.
Good defensive line play right there. A fellow by the name of Mel Kroll at the bottom of it.
Pulaski put together a very fine drive there. 14 plays, 89 yards, using up 6 minutes on the clock, and they come away empty-handed.
But I think they proved something in that particular drive, though, Bill, that they can play with Whitewater. On that first drive was all Whitewater. On this drive, Pulaski proved they can play with them. I think that's very important mentally.
Steve Kesley got some defensive instructions from Byron Biro, and you see Jim Young talking to Jim Warren, the Whitewater coach there. Only 38 seconds to play in the half. I imagine Whitewater would like to run it out. Whereas Pulaski's going to try and stop the clock and get the ball back. Whitewater has not exhibited much of a punting game, so if Pulaski can hold, they should get good field position.
Pulaski has also put a good rush on the punter.
Full house backfield behind Young. Shelpfeffer, Hansen, and Schwab. Quarterback sneak by Jim Young, straight ahead to about the 3-yard line.
Pulaski again calls timeout. That's 2.
And it'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Whitewater Whippets. Again, the respective captains go to their benches to talk to the coach.
35 seconds remaining in the half.
If Pulaski does get the ball back, they won't have a lot of time.
See the bands moving into position there behind the huddles.
A viewing reminder, because of the WIAA Division I football championship game at 10:30 tomorrow night, TV 11's All-Star Wrestling will be seen at 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. All-Star Wrestling at 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. There's some of the Whitewater cheerleaders, and you're going to hear that chant all night from both sides of the field, I think. There's a good look at the Whitewater offense, the wing T offense, sticking to the ground.
Have a chance to see the players also digging that dirt out of Bjorn Hansen there, number 24, digging the dirt out of his cleats.
They come to the line with a 3rd and 7 situation from their own 3. I don't think you'll see him throwing the football down here. It goes to Schwab, and he's stacked up right away.
Buried inside the 5-yard line.
The right side of that Pulaski defensive line, Tony Holland and Randy Reeby making the stop.
24 seconds to play.
Clock rolling. Down to 20 seconds now.
Here's where the defense has got to get off the ball carrier very, very quickly.
And I think Whitewater will just let the clock run and take a delay penalty if they have to, but I don't think they'll have to.
They'll be able to run out the clock right here.
And you can hear the Whitewater fans saluting their team as the Whippets take a 7-0 lead to the locker room at halftime. Whitewater 7, Pulaski nothing. And we'll be back with the second half of action in just a moment. The Red Raider Band of Pulaski performing here at halftime, Calder Stadium. Whitewater leading the Red Raiders 7-0. That's the important place, of course, but it's the only place the Whippets apparently lead Pulaski.
Right, and Pulaski is doing very well in the statistics, but they're behind by 7 points, as you mentioned. They lead in first down 7-4, rushing yardage 94-46, passing yardage 58-46, total yards 154-92. They have been able to move the football, but I think that's very important that they were able to move the ball. Even though they weren't able to get in the end zone, they were able to prove that they could move the ball on this big Whitewater team. That's going to be important to them in the second half.
I don't think you'll see either team do anything much differently. I don't think either team has to do anything much differently. Their game plans seem to be pretty effective at this point.
If anything, I would say that Whitewater is liable to come out throwing because they were very effective. They were 3 out of 4 in the first half versus 4 for 9 for Pulaski. I would say Whitewater will put the ball in the air if they have to this half.
Whatever, we expect to see another good half of football coming up. Whitewater leads Pulaski 7-0, and we'll be back with the second half of action in just a few minutes. It. But they'll start from their own 28-yard line. Looking at some individual statistics in the first half, Mel Kroll rushed 18 times for 90 yards, a 5-yard average. In passing, Jim Young of Whitewater 3 of 4 for 46 yards. That's what we'll watch this half. Kesley was 4 of 9 for 58 yards passing for Pulaski, somewhat below his average.
Whitewater breaks with a balanced line.
Only one back in the backfield, Schwab in motion. And Young right to the air right away. Over the middle, complete to Byerly. Doug Byerly on the reception. Good for a Whitewater first down.
Young 4 out of 5 so far this evening. Thrown the ball very, very well. We talked about it at halftime. He comes out throwing. Could be problems. See on the rollout right here. He's got plenty of time. Got the guard in front of him. Sets back. Comes back and throws a dart.
First and 10 at the Whippets 39-yard line. It goes straight ahead to Schulpfeffer. He's stacked up at the 40-yard line.
Young at 6'3", has got good elevation on that bar. He starts with a ball throwing very, very high. Uses a dart type of action, all wrist.
Randy Reeby and Jed Hensel on the tackle for Pulaski. It'll be 2nd and 8 Whitewater. The ball just across the Whippets 40-yard line. Just underway in the third period. Whitewater leads it 7-0.
Look forward to seeing what Pulaski's got in mind offensively in this half.
Schwab with the football. Big gain over 45-yard line. Tripped up by Mark Gracie-Alney.
Running over his own right tackle. We'll see him cut to his inside now on replay. Coming back right here. Fullback fake and left halfback inside. Cuts it upfield right there. Dropped. And a good open field tackle by number 33, Mark Gracie.
6-yard gain, 3rd and a yard, Whitewater. The ball at their 48. It goes to Schwab, he fumbles the ball, and I think Pulaski got it.
I think Pulaski did cover it. It looked to me like number 51, Randy Reeby, covered the ball. Let's take a look.
Schwab never controls the football. He lost it right in the handoff. Reeby was there.
Made the hit, but it's number 44 that made the carry. Danforth who covered the football. Good break for Pulaski.
Terry Bugs Danforth. In Oneida, Indiana, 5'10", 156-pound senior. 1st and 10 Pulaski at the 48 of Whitewater. Big break early in the third period for the Red Raiders. Kesley, the quarterback. Gracie-Alney and Cole gets the handoff. He gets a yard, and he's stopped by Stoffaker, the inside left linebacker for Whitewater.
Gain is 1 yard.
Second down and 7. As we told you, Kroll carried 18 times for 90 yards in the first half. Pulaski dominated the total yardage, 154 to 92, but they trail 7-0 in the game. Dennis Gore split out on the flank. Lasecki and Kubiak, the other ends, are in somewhat tight, but not right next to the tackles. Kesley to throw. Has got a man, it's Kubiak, or Lasecki rather, down to the 35-yard line and a first down.
He's got the first down, and he would have had even more yardage if that ball had been thrown in front of him. He did a nice job of coming back for it. Very difficult for a right-handed quarterback to roll to his left and throw the ball. We'll have a chance to see it on replay one more time. Here it is, rolling to his left, gets a nice block by the fullback. Good catch. Receiver did a nice job of coming back, catching it right off the tops of his shoes.
Shoe top catch by Rodney Lasecki, 6'2", 183-pound senior. First down, Pulaski at the Whitewater 35. Flag on the play. Kroll gets the handoff and gets to the 30-yard line. But I think we might have a motion penalty in the Pulaski backfield.
We've had a very error-free football game so far,
which is a tribute to both teams and their coaching.
That will be the first penalty against Pulaski. We see Kroll on replay moving forward. Here again, breaking tackles, dragging people with him. Whitewater was penalized twice for 21 yards in the first half. Pulaski was not penalized at all. This is the first all game for them.
This time of year, of course, you don't expect to see minor mistakes, fundamental mistakes, and these are two very fundamentally sound football teams.
That's why they're here.
First and 15 at the Whitewater 40-yard line. Dennis Gore comes flanked to this near side of the field, right behind tight end Kevin Kubiak. Kesley fakes into the line and keeps himself, got a blocker in front of him, inside the 35, hit and stopped at the 33. That was Dave Novak.
Novak
on the
did another nice job of coming up and tackling from his safety position. Good, solid tackle. Let's see it one more time. The belly series out here to the right, off the wishbone, always looking for the pitch man, but right there comes Novak and does a nice job on the tackle. There's a form tackle, head across the front, legs driving.
At 6'1" and 175, Novak had about 15 pounds on Kesley that time. Second down 8 at the 34-yard line of Whitewater. Kesley to Kroll, and he doesn't get much. He got a couple of yards. He was stopped in tight. Bob Gabby made the initial contact. Help from Doug Turley.
Offensive linemen for Pulaski are downfield in the secondary throwing blocks. Good hustle.
We haven't seen Mark Graciani carry the ball much since the first quarter, since the first drive actually. And they've got a 3rd and 7 situation here from the 31 of Whitewater. You're thinking pass, maybe we'll see a draw.
Haven't seen one yet tonight. Sure they have it in their repertoire.
Kesley to Kroll, big hole, closed off quickly. Mel gets about 4 yards down to the 28. It'll bring about a 4th down, and let's call it 3 yards to go for the Pulaski first down. I think they'll go for it here.
I would think so.
7:10 to play in the third quarter.
This is probably one of the most difficult calls in the book, I think, about it. Either 3rd or 4th and 4. It's more than that, you know you can throw. But here it's a long run, a short throw.
4th and 4 at Whitewater's 29-yard line. And some of the Whitewater fans get on their feet to exhort their defense. Kroll again. He's hitting right away and dropped. That was Ben Cooper on the tackle, an all-conference player at tackle. And he's had a pretty good game so far tonight. Pulaski turns the ball over again, so the Raiders continue to move in spurts.
One more time, it'll be over the right guard and right tackle position. Kroll is just gang tackle. That's the only way you're going to stop him is with several people.
Whitewater takes over at their 27-yard line. 1st and 10 with 6.5 to play in the third quarter. Schwab comes split into the slot. The handoff goes to Hansen around his left end. He's hit right away by Rod Summers. Good tackle by Rod.
Also, Kroll did a nice job of fighting through the blockers to get in there and help make the stop.
Randy Reeby there as well.
Notice the size of Kroll's calves. Good strength in his lower legs as well. I was looking at him when he was in the pregame warm-ups out there. Well-built young man.
Loss of 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 12 from the 27. Pulaski did an excellent job of stringing out the interference that time. Young with a football, throwing an incomplete. A diving stab made by Kroll. The pass intended for Stoffaker.
See Kroll from his inside linebacking position, rotating backwards. Not faked, but not fooled by that crossbuck fake in there. Good pressure on the quarterback, but that ball is delivered, and Kroll makes the diving reception or diving deflection of the ball right there.
Stoffaker is an excellent receiver, 6'2", 210 pounds, a senior. All conference in the Southern Lakes Conference, and Jim Young's favorite receiver. 3rd and 12, Whitewater. Hansen on the flank this time. Young looking out, now fires a pass out to Schwab that was incomplete. And it'll be 4th down. Whitewater must give up the football. So the Red Raiders defense holds, and they do a good job defending the pass.
Randy Reeby was watching the receiver and not watching the ball. I think if he'd have been looking back in the backfield, as coaches would prefer him not to do, he'd likely have picked that one up. Pulaski's rushed the punter very well. Let's see if they go after it.
Mark Simon, a left-footed sophomore punter for Whitewater, standing inside his 15, gets a good snap. Good rush by Judd Hensel, but Simon gets the ball away. Baranowski lets it bound across midfield into Pulaski territory at the 48. With a score, Whitewater 7, Pulaski nothing. 5.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, and we'll be back in just a moment.
And Red Raiders.
They mark the ball at the Whitewater 49-yard line. Pulaski 1st and 10. The Red Raiders still trailing 7-0. Kessley to throw over the middle, and he's got Baranowski, I believe. No, Rod Lasecki.
Quick look-in type of pattern from the receiver set to the left side. Take to the fullback to hold the linebacker, stands in there and just waits till his man clears, put the ball right on the numbers. Good throw, good reception.
First down at the Whitewater 37-yard line. Kessley didn't have a very good first half. He was 4 of 9, which isn't bad, but it's below his average. He completed 58% of his passes during the season. Graciali has it, rather Kroll was in the fullback slot that time. And he picks up maybe a yard before being stopped by Stoffaker at the 36.
I really thought they'd use Kroll more as a decoy in the course of the second half because Whitewater's obviously keen on him.
2nd and 9, Pulaski. The Red Raiders trailed in the 3rd quarter last week and came from behind to beat Grafton in the semifinal, 14-7, to earn their berth here tonight in the championship game. But the clock is moving very rapidly here in the 3rd quarter, approaching the 4-minute mark. Kessley to throw. Has a man open. It's Kubiak inside the 25, and the ball fumbled. Whitewater has it.
Number 34, Tim Cooper, was the one that fell on that ball. There was good contact downfield to knock the ball away from the receiver. We'll see it one more time on replay. Watch the contact that's made after the reception. The ball is delivered well. It's caught, but he's carrying it on his inside arm. We don't see it behind the people on the sidelines, but he's carrying the ball in the inside hand. You're supposed to carry that ball away from traffic.
1st and 10 Whitewater at their own 30. We'll see if they go to the air right away. They don't. That's Schwab with the football instead. They stick to their ground game. And Schwab picks up about 4 yards to the 34 before being stopped over there by Bino Hensel. Dave Novak made the hit on Kevin Kubiak. It negated what would have been a good gain for Pulaski.
Pulaski's had good field position throughout the course of this ball game.
3.5 minutes to play now in the 3rd period. 2nd down, 6 Whitewater at the Whippets 34. Hansen on the flank. Shelfeffer gets the handoff straight ahead and over the 35 to about the 37. He was submarined right away by the left side of that Pulaski defensive line. Kubiak over there.
Ball carried by number 40.
Kevin Kubiak, indeed. I thought it was shaken up on the play, but he's back up. He's tough.
Gain is 2.
The front defensive five for Pulaski, Rod Summers, Bino Hensel, Jed Hensel, Tony Howland, and Randy Reeby. The linebackers are Kubiak and Kroll. Defensive backs Kessley, Janunzio, Graciali, and Danforth. 3rd down, about 5. Hansen with the ball.
And he met Mr. Kroll. Woo!
Ball carrier.
As Chuck said, they get a lot of mileage out of Mel Kroll.
Watch this. If we had sound on a replay, it would sound like somebody just dropped a basket of pans right there.
4th and 4.
And off he goes. Oh, that Kroll is something.
Simon will punt. He hasn't been punting very well at all tonight. His last effort was a 28-yarder. Standing at his 25. Gets a better kick away this time. Kroll calls for fair catch at his own 32-yard line. There, the Red Raiders will take over, trailing 7-0 with 2 minutes, 12 seconds to play in the third period. A 31-yard punt that time by Mark Simon.
The ball is off 32-yard line. It'll be first and 10.
ABC NFL football on TV 11 next week has the Oakland Raiders meeting the Seahawks in the Seattle Kingdom on the Monday night game at 8. Thursday night at 7:30, an NFL football special. The Chargers take on the Dolphins right here on TV 11. First and 10, Pulaski at their own 32-yard line. Gracie Alney, the fullback. Kroll goes in motion from his tailback spot, and Kessley wants to throw the ball. He's got Kroll open, but it's through his hands, incomplete.
Kroll did the quick out at about 7 or 8 yards and then turned it upfield. That ball was on the mark, but I think Mel felt pressure from the inside.
Good throw by Kessley. There's a lot of zip on that ball.
There really was. Mel knew that was coming up. Knew the number 81 for Whitewater was coming up and closing on him, Doug Byerly.
Second and 10. Kessley now 7 of 13 for 91 yards through the air. Takes to Gracie Alney, pitches to Kroll, who wasn't looking, a fumble, and I think Whitewater got the ball.
There's a flag on the play.
There is a penalty. Kroll wasn't even looking at Kessley when he threw him the ball.
Very dangerous pitch in traffic.
Whitewater.
Notice that there's a man out there on Kroll when the ball is pitched, but it's pitched right off his headgear. It was against Pulaski. Motion declined. Whitewater first down.
So 2 consecutive fumbles have hurt the Red Raiders here in the third period. Doug Turley was shaken up on the play for Whitewater, and he's being attended to right now.
The preliminary.
He seems to be all right, however. Turley will leave the game. He's a linebacker on defense.
Mike Coleman is taking a few practice snaps with quarterback Jim Young on the sidelines.
First and 10.
Coleman will replace Turley at center. Coleman says he's the best bail slinger on the team, averaging about 20,000 bales a year. He must have a large farm. He's a junior. Turley was a senior. So we'll see how they handle their first exchange. Coleman and Jim Young, the quarterback. Schellpfeffer and Hansen behind him. Hansen gets the handoff, a reverse to Schwab inside the 30-yard line to the 20.
Good open field tackle again by Mark Delney.
That was a terrific reverse. I don't think Hansen even grabbed the ball.
Inside reverse right here.
It's like a touch pass.
The gain is 6 yards. It'll be second and 4.
Notice the way it held the people over on this side of the defense. Kroll on the inside.
6-yard gain. Second and 4 from the Pulaski 29-yard line. Schwab again. He's in trouble this time.
Good contact one more time out there. Good hitting out there in the course of this ball game. This is indeed a championship football game.
Dino Hensel had that one diagnosed.
This Whitewater offense is a very nice looking offense. We have a chance to look over to the Pulaski side of the field. The Whitewater offense is using counter plays, misdirections, reverses, their counters. They're coming back with crossbucks. You name it, they're using it tonight. And they executed extremely well.
Here's the Whitewater side of the field. Jim Warren talking into his walkie-talkie to his coaches upstairs. Schellpfeffer straight ahead for the first down inside the Pulaski 25. 33 seconds to play. The clock stopped while they moved the chains. We'll probably get one more play off in this period.
I guarantee you, though, these Whitewater backs are getting up slow. Pulaski's really putting the hammer on them.
But they've got to stop them and get the ball back for the Pulaski offense. They trail 7-0. Wade Oberle brought the last play in from the Whitewater bench.
Problem is the tackles are being made by defensive backs and linebackers, and that tells you which side of the line of scrimmage the contact is being made on.
Schellpfeffer again for a couple to the Pulaski 22. It'll be second and 8, and we'll switch ends of the field right here.
No sooner do I say that, but Halstead Hensel makes the tackle from his defensive tackle position. They need a few more of those tackles being made by the men up front.
The third quarter comes to an end with a score of Whitewater 7, Pulaski nothing. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter of action in just a moment. Whitewater Whitewater football as we start the fourth and final period. 2nd and 7 from the 22 of Pulaski. Young to throw. Over the middle, tipped and nearly intercepted. And caught. Wiley made the reception. 3 different Pulaski players tipped it.
I hope we have this one on replay. We'll have a chance to see it. Of such things are turnabouts made.
And boy, I'll tell you, when the football's bouncing one way, it seems to go that way all night. Pulaski hasn't had a bounce in the last 5 or 6 plays.
Nuts, we don't have it, but I tell you, it was fantastic. There was three different bobbles of the ball and then a reception.
9-yard gain and a first down. This is Schwab, and a great play made there by Rod Summers from his defensive end position.
Summers did an excellent job. 6'4", 197. He's a senior.
Rod Summertime Summers. He also is interested in chess, and he plans to go to college in Oakland, California. A loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down, 11 at the Pulaski 15 for Whitewater. And the Raider defense needs to stiffen here. Shelfeffer off tackle inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. Tackle made by Jed Hensel.
We do have a chance to see that play that came up 3 plays ago where the ball was tipped around. Let's take a look at it right here. Quarterback delivers the ball off one set of hands, off another set of hands, a third set of hands, and into the fourth, where it was designed to go in the first place. How do you diagram those? A lot of dots.
I don't know. Young on the rollout, slips and goes down.
He had the outside, too. He was open.
There's a break for Pulaski, and it'll be 4th down, Whitewater now. We'll see if the Whippets try a field goal or go for a first down.
Quarterback getting to the outside. You see he's got the angle, but he tries to go to the inside, and that's where his feet escape him. After 3 quarters, Pulaski again holding the advantage in statistics. 9 first downs to Whitewater's 6, 114 yards rushing to Whitewater's 72, 91 yards passing to Whitewater's 57, 205 total yards to Whitewater's 129. The only problem is they're still down 7.
How often you see that happen, however. They push a team around and don't win. You'll want to see watching TV 11 the week of December 1st. That's Rocky Blyer week here on TV 11. On Thursday, December 4th, a TV 11 sports special. Rocky Blyer, the Appleton Years, followed by a special edition of ABC NFL Football, Pittsburgh and Houston. Sunday, December 7th, the ABC Sunday night movie will be Fighting Back with Robert Urich of Vegas, starring as Rocky Blyer. In addition, December 3rd through the 7th, TV 11 viewers will have an opportunity to win a Fighting Back commemorative jersey and an autographed copy of the Rocky Blyer hardcover book, Fighting Back. Watch TV 11 for details.
We're about to see a field goal attempt by Pulaski. This will be a, let's call it a 29-yarder. It's just short of the, we've spotted just short of the 20. In high school ball, the goalposts are set back at the end of the end zones.
And the left-footed sophomore, Mark Simon, to try. Gets it away, plenty of distance.
Well, he boomed it.
It's good. Whitewater 10, Pulaski nothing.
He's a step and a halfer. He doesn't even take a big stride into it. Just one quick step and whack. On replay right here, good hold. Good leg action.
9 plays, 23 yards, 3 minutes, 39 seconds in that drive by Whitewater. They take a 10-0 lead over Pulaski, which means the Red Raiders have to score 2 touchdowns now to win the ball game. Simon is only a sophomore, 6 feet, 175 pounds. He was voted the 2nd worst looking guy on the team, Chuck. And you know, they didn't tell us who the first was, so we'll just have to wonder about that.
Good thing he voted.
But I was watching Simon before the game, and he did show a very, very strong leg. I think he could have kicked that one from 45 yards.
It's not as cold over on that Whitewater side of the field right now.
Kroll back to receive, along with Ed Brady up closer. Good kick. It goes into the end zone. Pulaski will take over on their 20-yard line. And you can feel the momentum over here on the Whitewater side of the field. They are fired.
This Whitewater cheering section will see man getting his ankle taped. I believe it's Bjorn Hansen, number 24. 24.
Bjorn. He was the one that got stuck by Mel Kroll last time. Had to come off the field.
Kroll hits them so hard they have to retape their ankles when they're done.
The Pulaski Red Raiders 80 yards away from a touchdown with 10-10 to play in the game, trailing 10-0. And Kroll gets the call out to about the 24. A gain of 4, second down and 6. Mel Kroll must be approaching the 100-yard mark for the game. He is over it now, 103 yards in 24 carries.
10 minutes remaining in the game.
And Pulaski, while they have put together some good drives, is going to have to move very quickly here to get down the field. Three wide receivers split out from the line. Kesley to throw. Plenty of time. He's going to run with it now. And he's hit and knocked out of bounds rather roughly by Bob Gabby on the far side of the field.
And he is down.
He was hit pretty hard.
Kesley thrown out of bounds.
He picked up about 3 or 4 yards on the play, but they could have been very expensive yards. He's still down over there.
Gain is 3 yards.
I can't see if they've got
Third and 3.
if there's a long jump pit or anything like that he might have landed in over there. I don't see anything, any obstacle on the ground.
I think he just got stuck pretty hard by Gabby, the linebacker. Gabby is 6 feet tall and 205 pounds, which gives him about 45 pounds on Steve Kesley. Kesley's also a pretty good basketball player, so we'll hope he isn't injured. But they're talking right now to the backup quarterback, Tim Burr, a junior, 5'11" and 145 pounds. As we said, Pulaski is dominated by seniors. That's their philosophy. Go with the experienced and mature players. So right now they're talking to Tim Burr. I'm not sure what his passing statistics were on the year, but I know he didn't see as much action as Steve Kesley.
Kesley is still sitting down on the sidelines over there. They're still working on him, so I don't know exactly what it is. Can't see him right behind the third down marker there on the sideline.
9:29 to play in the game. I'll remind you, we'll have an interview with the winning coach coming up once the game has been completed. It doesn't look like we're headed for any kind of overtime with a 10-0 Whitewater lead. Pulaski, as we said, doesn't have a kicking game. They send the Raiders back to the huddle while the officials get straight. Third down and about 3 yards to go for a Pulaski first down. The ball at the 27-yard line of Pulaski. Tim Burr, the new quarterback. Gracie Alley and Cole still the setbacks behind him in the eye. Cole goes in motion now. The throw coming out to Summers. Summers has the first down at the 31. Dangerously carrying the football, brought down by Doug Pearson.
You know, that's quite a call. They bring a man off the bench, a guy that hasn't played in a long time. Up he comes and throws the ball right on the money. That's pressure. Right over the defensive end. Watch the ball, where the ball is put out in one hand. That is dangerous.
Reception by Rod Summers, who couldn't quite get away from Pearson. Summers scored the winning TD last week against Grafton on that 55-yard fumble return. First and 10 Pulaski at the Red Raiders 31. 9:05 to play in the game. Kroll gets the call, and he gets a couple of yards to the 33.
You can see his upper body strength there as he was stretched out on the ground. One of the defenders was trying to bend him backwards, and he just took the battle to him again.
I'm looking over the far side of the field trying to find what they did with Kesley.
He's up, thank goodness.
I think he's just mingling in with the other players right now. Gain of 3, it'll be 2nd and 7 from the Pulaski 33. 8.5 minutes to play in the game. Dennis Gore flanked out to the far side of the field. Burr to throw, has a man and he drops it. Kubiak had the ball and he dropped it.
Ball was on the mark. Tough spot for Kubiak.
Burr's pass incomplete.
Another good pass by Burr after just coming off the bench. Clock stopped with 8:24 to play.
The 5-2 type of defense, if they can throw into the flats, they should be in pretty good shape. They've been able to do it so far this evening, but 5-2, as you can see by the very deployment, the flats should be open to the passing attack.
3rd and 7, Pulaski from their own 33. Kroll on the draw, big hole, and Mel breaks out to the 45 and a first down. It looked like he was going to get trapped there in the backfield, but he found some room.
One man doesn't bring him down. We find ourselves repeating ourselves. Watch the line blocking. They drive people to the outside. Look at those arm tackles. He just goes right through those.
There was a good block there. I think it was by Brett Fink, the left guard. Either Fink or Tony Holland. As Byron Velo said, they don't blow anybody out because they're not that big, but they sustain their blocks long enough for their backs to get some running room. Kroll now 118 yards on 26 carries. Pulaski has converted 5 out of 10 third down situations. First and 10, Red Raiders at their own 45. Kesley's back in, and he's looking for a receiver. Chased by Gabby. He gets it away, and it's completed.
Oh, what a catch. Fantastic catch.
I believe it was Lasecki. Rodney Lasecki has quite a pair of hands on him.
He sure does. Watch this on replay. Watch the contact that's made right at the moment of the reception, right there. And he still hangs onto the ball.
That was Kubiak on the reception. Kevin Kubiak, a 5'10", 171-pound senior.
Doug Byerly, number 81, did a nice job of trying to break up that pass.
18-yard gain, first and 10 Pulaski at the 38 of Whitewater. Kroll with a football. Breaking tackles, he struggles inside the 35 to the 32. Boy, did he take some punishment that time.
He sure did, but he delivered some punishment also. That's what you see good running backs able to do. Using their forearms, their helmet, their shoulder pads, taking the battle to the defender. There's a forearm on the first run. There's 2 of them down. Now, boom, there's the third one. I like this guy.
7 minutes to play in the game. Whitewater still leading 10-0. Second down and 5 for Pulaski. Kroll again. Looks like he wants to throw. He's got a man open. It's Baranowski. Knocked away by Novak.
Novak has played extremely well in that secondary. There's another pass. Could have gone for 6, but Novak came over to make the... I was wondering when they're going to throw this.
Ball hangs up just a little too long.
You see a man in the open, a lot of times the best thing to do is to hang that ball up a little bit and let him run under it. Novak, though, is covering an awful lot of distance out there.
Third down and a long 4 for Pulaski. Ball at the 32 of Whitewater. Big down for the Red Raiders.
They've run off right tackle before in this situation.
Kesley to throw. Looking back to Summers. It's tipped and intercepted by Novak. Dave Novak brings it back out to the 28-yard line. And you'll see a good shot of this.
Very difficult for a quarterback to throw back against the grain. We'll have a chance to look at it one more time. Here it is. Roll out to the right. Comes back. Tipped. Novak does a nice job of coming back, getting the ball, heading upfield. Now watch the tackle right there. Number 88, Steve Lemon coming up to make the tackle.
Paul Chambers.
Rod Summers, sorry.
Summers and Paul Chambers on the tackle. A 7-yard return. Whitewater takes over at their 27. Young with the ball, nearly trapped in the backfield. It was Kroll, I believe, who got back there and stopped him. At least turned him inside, and the tackle was made by Bino and Jed Hensel, the 2 brothers who play side by side on offense and defense. That was a key turnover. Pulaski's had 2 fumbles and now an interception, and with 6 minutes left, if the Whitewater Whippets can put together any kind of sustained drive here and at least eat off the clock, it could be curtains for Pulaski. 1 back set behind Young now, and Schwab in motion. He gets the handoff, and Summers meets him and drags him to the ground.
Summers did a great job from his defensive end post, stuffing the offensive block, getting in the backfield. Watch number 88 at the bottom of your screen. Right off the left. Right there. Defeated the block, made the tackle.
There's Dave Novak on the Whitewater sideline, the man who just intercepted for the Whippets.
Notes all those awards on his helmet.
A loss on the play back to the 21-yard line. It'll be 3rd down at about 16.
Pulaski needs to force a turnover here.
Draw play. Schulpfeffer hit by Kubiak with some assistance from Bugs Danforth. And Schulpfeffer is stopped short of the first down at the 29, so Pulaski will get the football back with 5 minutes to play.
We'll see the draw play right here. Good running room initially, but watch this tackle made right there. 82, Kevin Kubiak.
Mark Simon comes in to punt. He's been kicking low line drives all night. We'll see if Pulaski can get in there to block it. And they're coming up watching for the fake. Simon will stand outside his 15. Gets a good high spiral away.
He's kicking better as the game progresses.
Taken by Baranowski at his 35. And Baranowski brings it back to midfield. Gary Baranowski on the return for Pulaski. Tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, TV 11 and ABC bring you the 32nd meeting of the Michigan Wolverines and Purdue Boilermakers from Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. The Big Ten title on the line. Then at 3 in the afternoon, Dan Devine's Fighting Irish travel to Birmingham to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Notre Dame and Alabama. Great college doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. A good 15-yard return by Baranowski on that 36-yard punt. Kesley to throw. His man slipped and it's intercepted. Picked off by Pearson. There's a clip. That was a questionable call on the clip, but Simon was called for clipping Baranowski. And that's somewhat of a break for Pulaski.
Let's review it one more time, see what happens here. There again, it's roll out right. Throw back. Oops. That was not the play. I wondered if I was watching the right one. There it is.
Pino, Hensel, and Kesley made the stop. You couldn't see it, but the receivers slipped. And there was just no Pulaski man near the football when it was thrown.
Those things make a quarterback look so bad, and yet they're not his fault.
Nothing has gone right for Pulaski in this half. After a pretty sound first half, they were stopped at the 1-foot line in the first half on 4th down. So they have not scored a point in the game. Schwab with a football dragged to the turf. I think we're going to have a face mask for all of Todd Summers. But Summers again made an excellent defensive play.
You know, everything I've seen of him, he is a good-looking football player.
Pretty good size, 6'3", 190 pounds. As we said, he's going to attend college in Oakland, California. He was a starter on their basketball team last year, too, so you can see he's a good athlete.
15-yard penalty assessed.
Watch him come across the line of scrimmage. When you're just reaching out, trying to get a hold of anything, sometimes you find that face mask, and you don't intentionally try to do it, but nonetheless, it serves a pretty good handle. It also can be very dangerous.
I don't know if they'll keep running his way much longer. I wouldn't think it very wise of Whitewater. First down Whippets at their own 46 with 3.5 to play in the game. They own what would appear to be a comfortable 10-0 lead right now. Young pass picked off and dropped. Excellent play by Gracie Alney, but he couldn't hang on to it. Grace stepped inside of the wide receiver, Tim Cooper.
Almost picked that one off. Pulaski needs to pick one off here right now.
Gracie Alney put one thing on his cards that we asked the kids to fill out. He said, "I'm a competitive person."
True.
He certainly is. 2nd and 10 Whitewater. Surprising to see them throwing because it stops the clock with 3:23 to play.
A 10-point lead, that's just very surprising.
Schwab comes in motion. Young to throw again. And it's tipped. Intercepted by Gracie Alney. He's got the whole sideline to himself. Tripped up at the 36-yard line. Cooper stopped him.
A rather surprising call.
We'll have to see who tipped the ball because they made the interception possible.
I like number 88 right there.
Summers again was in there.
Summers causes the interception to be made by tipping it. Gracie only picks it off. I thought he had the sidelines, as you called, Bill. Good pursuit gets him from the inside. Number 34, Tim Cooper, drops him.
1st and 10 Pulaski at the 37 of Whitewater. Kesley swings it out to Baranowski, and he's stopped by a jarring tackle.
Oh, you're seeing some good contact out here.
Byerly made that hit. Only 5'8" and 160, but he hit him hard.
You see why both these teams are here in the championship finals. Good contact.
Clock running with 2:38 to play in the game. Pulaski needs to score quickly and then get the ball back on the kickoff. 2nd and 5 from the 32. Kesley to throw again. No ground game here. Intercepted by Novak again. And Kubiak and Lasecki bring him down at the 20-yard line. That should be the ball game. That Novak is everywhere.
It's designed to be a quick pop over the middle, I believe, to the tight end.
Good pass by Lasecki, but right into a crowd.
That it is, but there is Novak playing his free safety spot.
Good shot of Jim Warren, the Whitewater coach.
Years ago, Brad Van Pelt used to play that center field for Michigan State. Same way.
Whitewater has been stopped on the ground in this half, only 25 yards in 18 attempts. A credit to the Pulaski defense.
Give you some idea. Jim Young, who's operating behind an unbalanced line, just went up and lined up behind the guard. That does happen.
But time is working against Pulaski right now. Their defense very staunch. You saw them stuff that play for no gain. 2nd and 10, but a minute and 35 to play in the game, and you can hear the chant starting on the Whitewater side. We're number 1. Unless something miraculous happens, that will probably hold true.
Pulaski doesn't have to apologize to anybody, though. They've played extremely well.
Young will keep it. He's dragged down from behind.
Look at the pursuit by Mel Kroll. Shooting in from his right inside linebacking position, coming around from behind. Now calling timeout to stop the clock.
Timeout, Pulaski.
Watch number 28 crossing over the top of your screen. Now watch the pursuit. Here he comes from behind. Slipping in behind the guard, running down the quarterback from behind.
Whitewater leads it 10-0 over Pulaski with a minute 11 to play in the game. The final seconds of action after these messages. 3rd down and about 11 for Whitewater at their own 19-yard line.
5 turnovers this half for Pulaski. That spelled the difference.
Summers again buries Jim Young.
Did he come? We'll have a chance to take a look at this again from ground level, but if you want to see a guy get nailed, here it comes. And the problem is, see, as you're the quarterback, you don't see this coming. Watch this. This is almost a free shot. Ouch.
I'll tell you, Rod Summers has just had an outstanding second half.
Those are the ones you feel on Wednesday.
What do they call that? A lookout block, right?
Yep.
Your guard just says, look out. A minute 1 to play in the game, and Pulaski will be getting the ball back. Trailing 10-0. As we said, very little has gone right for the Red Raiders in this half. You can point to a lot of different points in this game. They piled up a lot of yards in the first half, drove 89 yards, and were stopped at the 1. There was the tip pass that resulted in a completion for Whitewater and turned into a field goal.
The penalties are few, but the turnovers are many. Give you some idea just how stout the Pulaski defense has been. In the second half, they have allowed Whitewater to rush only 19 yards worth in 21 attempts, less than 1 yard per rush.
And the rush is on right now against the punter. High tip from center. He's not going to get it off. Mark Simon's trapped in the backfield. They might get him for a safety. Did they get him at the 1, or is it a safety? And what a break that is. We said they needed something miraculous, and it was the high snap that did it.
Here it is. The ball is snapped high.
Mark Simon brings it down.
Does a nice job of tipping the ball and keeping it from going out the back of the end zone. Running to his right. Does he get out of the end zone, or doesn't he? Where is his forward progress?
I think they're going to give it to Pulaski at the 1. Immediately I was thinking a safety and a touchdown could have tied the game for Pulaski.
Official timeout.
We hope you've enjoyed the game tonight and enjoyed some of the fine camera shots you've seen. It's a credit to our crew. Produced and directed by John Mader. Dale Quick, our technical supervisor. The video by Russ Mann. Pat Rowan, the technical director. Audio by Cheryl Cartier. Videotape, Jim Sims and Tom Book. Associate Director Dwayne Warner and Dick Maskell. Electronic graphics by Debbie Mayo. And the fellows who are bringing those nice pictures to you on camera, Dennis Wilcox, Dave Campbell, Doug Hutchison, and Todd Bruner. Thanks, guys, and a tip of the hat to all of you.
Marks.
And we also have Don Cinetti on videotape as well.
Mark Simon, number 44, was the man who was injured.
Well, there are 55 seconds to go in this ball game. Pulaski needs to score right here on the first play. 1st and goal at the 1. It's Kroll.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. No doubt about it. Go to your bread and butter. And he ran right behind Brett Fink and Tony Holland, Paul Chambers on that left side. Right over the 2 big guys. Finker, 6'2", 191 pounds. Chambers, 5'10", and 210.
It's a 10-6 ball game. They can get it up to 10-8 if they can get the conversion.
But remember, they do not have much of a kicking game, so you won't see much of an attempt at a field goal if they do get the ball back.
Kroll's rushed 28 times for 125 yards, 1 touch tonight.
Kesley on the roll. Firing incomplete for Kubiak.
Off of Kubiak's hands.
Either way, they need it. They would have needed another touchdown or a field goal. A field goal would have won it, but without a good kicker, they probably would have had to go for a touchdown.
That's rather perceptive. It's tough to get those field goals without a kicker, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And they would be kicking into a slight wind as it is. 51 seconds to play, and you're likely to see an onside kick here.
Jim Warren is out there huddled with his Whitewater Whippets down to our left.
That goal line stand by Whitewater looms even more significant now.
As they take the field, we'll have a chance to take a look at that scoring play by Kroll. Watch the surge that he gets out of his left guard and left tackle right there.
77 Paul Chambers, 33 Gracie Alney, the fullback, threw a good block also. But it may be too little too late.
Remember, this ball's got to travel 10 yards, then it can be recovered by either team.
And they're kicking from the 40. Rod Summers. We'll see if they overload to one side.
It will not travel 10.
They went about 7 yards, and that's it. Whitewater will take over at the 49-yard line, rather the 46 of Pulaski. And I think Pulaski only has 2 timeouts left.
The onside kick attempt.
51 seconds to go in the ball game.
Well, we expected a good ball game, and with the exception of the second half turnovers by Pulaski, I think we've had one.
Whitewater at the Pulaski 40.
Clock is now running. Whitewater will merely fall on the ball at this stage.
40 seconds, and right now these are the longest 40 seconds of any young man's life. There's a miserable feeling to be on that field right now.
Played so hard and come up points shy.
They have every right to be proud, but you can't tell a player that right now when he's losing at this stage of the game.
This has been an excellent football game, no doubt about it. Turnovers are a part of the game. A lot of those turnovers were on tipped balls. Can't fault any of the players for that. Credit instead the defenders who are there deflecting the ball in its path.
Pulaski stops the clock with 27 seconds left. You see Jim Warren instructing his quarterback, Jim Young, to be careful. The ball at the 47. Don't relax. You heard him on the sidelines.
Very laid-back coach. He was chatting with him a little bit before the game tonight. He said, "Don't know if we got it." He said, "Don't know if we have it in us."
Well, they have. He said they didn't want to come up here with any kind of lackadaisical attitude because Pulaski would take their helmets off and hand them to him in their hands and send them back to Whitewater. But they played the Red Raiders toe-to-toe tonight.
They sure have.
Young again falls on the football, and Pulaski will have to use their last timeout. 20 seconds left in the game. And apparently they have no timeouts left. Whitewater, the Division II WIAA high school football champions for 1980. The Whippets 10 and Pulaski 6. We'll wrap up the final statistics and be back to talk to victorious Whitewater coach Jim Warren in just a moment.
The field where Whitewater has just defeated Pulaski 10-6 for the WIAA Division II championship, but Pulaski definitely had the statistical edge throughout the evening. First downs, they had 12 to Whitewater's 7, 143 total yards rushing to only 49 by Whitewater. Yards passing 127 to 66 for Whitewater. Total yards 270 to 115, but they still came up 4 points shy. We'll go down to the field just now where Bill Beagle has winning coach Jim Warren available on the field in a mob of happy Whitewater fans.
Just standing here feeling the emotion. I don't think anything can beat this feeling.
No, not at all. It was tremendous.
Best thing that's happened to you in your coaching career?
Well, I've had some other teams that have done as well. Not to say champion. Well, I had one other, but I don't want to rank it. It's super.
What can you say about this game and the team you beat?
Well, I think, as I've said all along, Pulaski has a lot of character, and I think it showed tonight. They just came to play. Our defense played awfully well, and our special teams, I thought, won the game for us. We were able to hang in there with our special teams the second half.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Jim Warren of Whitewater, the winning coach in this 1980 Division II championship game. The WIAA Division II championship game, Pulaski versus Whitewater, has been brought to you by the Pulaski Smart Shoppers Association, by Furnitureland, more than just a furniture store, it's something extra, by Karch Ford in Pulaski, where nobody walks away, and by Frontier Savings Association, your exclusive sponsor of Savings Plus. The final tonight, Whitewater 10, Pulaski 6. For Chuck Lane, Bill Beagle say thank you for being with us and good night.